Hello, welcome to lecture 17 on the course Differential Equation and Discrete Mathematics. In this lecture, we will see the method to find another second linearly independent solution of a homogeneous differential equation given one solution of it. So we would discuss this as a theorem. As we know that finding a general solution to a homogeneous to a second order differential equation is a cumbersome task. We would use one solution to find the another solution. So in that case, if we can find one solution by trial and error method or just by guessing we can find another solution using this method. So here we have a theorem. If y1 is a non-zero solution of the differential equation, it's a homogeneous differential equation, linear homogeneous differential equation, y double prime plus p of x y prime plus q of x y is equal to 0, being this p and q are continuous on the interval where the function is defined. Then the second linearly independent, so it is very much important for us to find two linearly independent solutions. So second linearly independent solution to y1 will be given by this formula. y2 is equal to y1, which is given integral of 1 by y1 square into e raised to integral of minus p of x dx. That serves as a this part serves as an integrand for this integral into dx. So we would derive this assuming the other solution, and then ultimately we would prove that these two solutions are linearly independent solution. So let's start with the proof of this theorem. We are given that y1 is one linearly independent solution. So I want to construct y2 and I want to show that given y1 we have y2 as this and it's a linearly independent solution. So since I would start by assuming both y1 and y2 as we want them to be a linearly independent. So since these are linearly independent, y2 will never be scalar time y1. Okay, this is because if they are, in the previous class we have seen that if y2 is a scalar multiple of y1 or y1 is a scalar multiple of y2, then we can easily see from the definition that both of them are linearly dependent. So this will never happen for any constant k. So now if you look at the formula, we have y2 in terms of y1, so y1 into some function of x. So that means since y2 cannot be written as a scalar multiple of y1, we are expecting it to be a product of two function y1 and some non-constant function of x. So that's why we assume, let y2 to be equal to say some y1 of x, y2 of x I would call, y1 of x into v of x, where this v definitely it cannot be a constant, so v is non-constant function of x, which we need to determine. So how would we determine? We would assume this as a solution and we would see what is the condition that is required for this y2 to be a solution for the given differential equation. So since we are assuming y2 is a solution, so therefore we should have that y2 should satisfy the given differential equation 1. So therefore we would have that this v into y1 double prime, that's your y2, is plus p of x into, I would use the shortest method to write down this, v into y1 prime plus q into Vy1 q of x into Vy1. Actually this is also function of x, but I'm writing it in this way, 0. So I would call this as equation 2, and we would solve this. We will see what is the condition that is required for this v to satisfy this equation. So this is same as, okay, so first I want the second derivative of this product. So first I will evaluate the first derivative, and from there I will evaluate the second derivative. So first I will see Vy1 its prime, so that is first derivative of this product, so that's same as v prime y1 plus v into y1 prime. So I would call this as, say, equation 1, and from here I can find out its second derivative, that is just differentiate this expression once again. So that is derivative of this plus derivative of this. Derivative of this would be y double prime v double prime y1 plus v prime y1 prime. So that is the first term that we are getting from the, that are the two terms that we are getting from the first term, and from the next term we would get v prime y1 prime plus v y1 double prime. So this is expression 2. Putting this together in second equation, so putting 1 and 2 into, we get okay, what is that? First one, we have a second derivative, so I'll write down over here v double prime y1 plus, okay, this is 2 into v prime y1 prime plus v y1 double prime plus p into, I would call this simply as p for my convenience, v y1 prime, so that is v prime y1 plus v into y1 prime plus q into v y1 is equal to 0. Now don't forget that this y1 is a function, is a solution to the given differential equation. So we would see whether we can eliminate that one part. So we would see whether this we have that expression of the given equation 1 in this expression in terms of y1. So if I just look at this term, v y1 double prime plus then p into v y1 prime, so that term is also there, and one more term we want is that q into y1, so that we can get it from here. So from these three terms which I have underlined, I can take v common, so I have from here, that is v into, I'll put this in bracket, y1 double prime plus from here p, the term is actually p into v into y1 prime, v is already taken common, so I have p into y1 prime plus from here I get q into y1, and so the remaining term, I would put it over here, the remaining term would be same as what is remaining, this term, that is v double prime y1 plus from here 2 into v okay, so from here I can write down this as, just look at this term, we have 2 v1 y1 prime, and from here we have p v1 y1, so this one term is remaining. So altogether there are only 3 terms. So first term I've already listed over here. The second term, the second and third term, we can see that I can take v prime common, and so what remain, that I will put in bracket. So if I take v prime common, I get 2 into y1 prime from here, and from here I'll get plus p into y1 is equal to 0. Now since this y1 is a solution to the given differential equation, this would be exactly same as 0, and therefore 0 into anything is 0, so this get vanished and we have only this remaining. So we have v double prime y1 plus v prime into 2y1 prime plus py1 is equal to 0. Now if you look at this expression, equation 3, this has the undetermined, that is v, as v double prime. So this is a second order equation, so we have converted this into a second order equation, but again it is difficult to observe. I mean, through this expression we can see that it is difficult to simplify further. So I would try certain substitution to put it in a simplest form. In fact, I would reduce this to a first order differential equation and then we can solve it very easily, either by separating the variable or some other method. So let's try it out. So here I would set, or I would put u is equal to v prime, and so this implies v prime, and this implies its first derivative is v double prime, and so this 3 becomes after substituting you have the first term v double prime, so that's same as u prime y1 plus you have v prime, so that will become u into this would remain as it is 2y1 prime plus py1 is equal to 0. Okay, now if you further this becomes now easier task because this is in terms of, this is the first order differential equation, so we would try to solve this. So if I further simplify this, then if I further simplify this, then I will have u is equal to minus u into 2y1 prime plus py1. I would try to separate the variable. So if I try to separate the variable, first I can divide throughout by u, so I get u prime u by u, and then again you can divide throughout by y1, and so you get minus 2y1 prime by y1, and what is remaining over here is simply minus p. So I would call this expression as 4. This is a first order equation, and you can, if you directly integrate this, you would get the value of u in terms of y1. So which is what we want. We want to find the value of u. So you integrate this with respect to x. Integrating with respect to x, we get, integrating with respect to x, we get integral of u prime by u is equal to minus integral of y prime by y1 prime by y1 minus integral of p, and so that is same as, this is p into dx, and so this is same as log of u, this is same as minus log of y1, and this is same as minus p of x dx. This we would keep as it is, right? And so I can take this, here I missed 2, yeah, there should be 2, so this is 2. So when I take this to the other side and use the logarithmic formula, property of log, I have this as u into y1 square, because this would come here as plus 2 log y1, and that can be written as log y1 square. So this is log of u plus log of y1 square, that's same as log of u into y1 square, and the other side will remain as it is, p of x dx. And so that when you take log from both the side, when you take the inverse of log from both the side, on both the side you get u into y1 square is equal to e raised to integral of minus of p of x dx. So that is same as, okay, now you want a formula for so okay, first I will substitute this u is same as v prime into y1 square is equal to e raised to integral of minus p of x dx. So from here I get v prime, that is same as 1 upon y1 square e raised to integral of minus p of x dx. And so if I integrate this again, I get the value of v, so that is same as 1 upon y1 square e raised to, so this act as the integrand for this integral dx, this whole thing. And therefore thus the value for y2 of x, that is same as y1 into v, so y1 of x into v of x, that is same as this value, integral of 1 upon y1 square e raised to minus p of x dx whole dx. So this is how we find the other linearly independent solution if we have one solution of the homogeneous differential equation. But there is one more part which is remaining, that is to show that this y1 and y2 are linearly independent. So to show y1 and y2 are linearly independent, okay, now to prove this we just compute Wronskian of this y1 and y2. So Wronskian of y1 and y2 at x is nothing but the integral determinant of y1, y2, y1 prime, y2 prime, which is same as you know what is y1 is given, y2 is v into y1. Okay, as of now I'll just use it as v into y1, and this is what y1 prime, so this would remain y1 prime, and this is same as v into y1 prime, so that is same as which we have evaluated, v into y1 prime plus v prime into y1. The determinant of this, that is same as, okay, if I compute this, this is same as v into y1 prime plus v prime into y1 square, and this would be same as minus v into y1 prime. So this and this gets cancelled, and so we have this as the determinant. Can this be ever be equal to 0? We know the value of v prime. In the previous expression we got the value of v prime. V prime is this value 1 by y1 square into e raised to minus p of x dx. So this is same as 1 by y1 square. So first I'll write y1 over here, y1 square here, and this v prime is 1 by y1 square v prime here I'm getting, yeah, e raised to minus p of x dx. So that is same as e raised to integral of minus p of x dx. And so you get this exactly same as, and you know that the exponential function will never be equal to 0 for whatever the value of this p of x, and this proves that the Wronskian will never be equal to 0 on whole I, and therefore I say that y1 and y2 are linearly independent. This proves the linearly independentness of the set. So therefore the general solution of this equation would be given as c1 y1 plus c2 y2, because both y1 and y2 are linearly independent. Let's see one example to end up this session. Example 1, given that y is equal to e raised to x square is a solution of y double prime minus 4xy prime plus 4x square minus 2 into y is equal to 0. Find the general solution. So this is already given, one solution is already given, so I'll call it as y1. Let y1 be e raised to x square. Now you can very easily observe that this satisfies this given differential equation, so that I would leave it as an exercise. So therefore by the previous theorem and this is a homogeneous differential equation. Also note that this p of x, that is minus 4x, and q of x 4x square minus 2, they are continuous on whole R. So you can find a solution on whole R if it exists. So by previous theorem, the other linearly independent solution, you don't have to check whether this is linearly independent now, because we have already verified that other solution that we derived from y2 from a given solution is always linearly independent through this formula. So y2 is equal to y1 into v1, that is 1 upon y1 square e raised to minus integral of p of x dx. Okay, so into dx. So I would I'll call this a star, and I would evaluate this integral separately. So e raised to minus p of x dx, what is this? E raised to minus p is minus 4x, right, into dx. So that is e raised to integral of 4x, which is same as into dx, which is same as e raised to x, integral of x is x square by 2, and so you get 2x square. So once you put this in star, and therefore y2 is same as y1, that is e raised to x square integral of 1 upon y1 square. So that is e raised to x square the whole square into this value, that is e raised to 2x square dx. And so when you evaluate this, you get this this e raised to x square the whole raised to 2 is basically what? E raised to 2x square, and this is e raised to 2x square dx. So that gets cancelled, and so the final answer is x into e raised to x square. So this is your another linearly independent solution, and so here y1 and y2 are two linearly independent solution of the given equation. And so the general solution of given equation is given by yg of x is equal to c1 y1 of x plus c2 y2 of x. You can substitute, that is c1 into, first one is e raised to x square plus c2 into, the second one is x into e raised to x square. That's it. So with this we end up this session. Thank you for watching this video and have a nice day ahead.